We live in a religiously pluralistic world. For us as Christians, this demands that we must live respecting other faith traditions. Being Christian today requires prophetic dialogue in a secular world marked by consumerism and hedonism, yet also marked by astounding scientific advances, rapid development of communications media, and the emergence of new understandings of freedom. All Christian communities are called to practice dialogue because we live in a world of many, sometimes conflicting religions. The only way to be in mission today is to respect other people's beliefs and collaborate with other faith traditions. We are also to be in dialogue with people who no longer believe, who have no faith, who find church faith irrelevant. According to the 1991 document, Dialogue and Mission, dialogue is the norm and necessary manner of every form of Christian mission, as well as every aspect of it, whether one speaks of simple presence and witness, service, or direct proclamation. Mission that is not permeated by a spirit of dialogue would go against the demands of true humanity and against the teaching of the gospel. Interreligious dialogue is not an extra. It is not a luxury which we can enter into if or when we want. Interreligious dialogue is of the very nature of the missionary work of the church. Today, dialogue is a foundational element of Christian mission, because Christian mission is participation in the mission of God, and God's being and action is dialogical. Mission is reflective of the dialogical nature of God's Trinitarian self. God's self-revelation shows a communion and dialogue in which mystery is made concrete in Jesus of Nazareth. God's way of revealing through Spirit and incarnate Word is always one that treats humanity and all of creation with freedom and respect. Since God is present in every situation, God is also present in every religion. Dialogue is a real part of the mission of the church, since it springs from the assurance that God is the creator of the whole universe and has not left himself without witness at any time or any place. Dialogue provides a way to discover the fullness of our faith, so that paradoxically we can offer it to others with a bolder humility and a humbler boldness. The church teaches that there are 4 forms of dialogue: the dialogue of life, the dialogue of social action, the dialogue of theological exchange, and the dialogue of religious experience. First of all, and above all else, there is the dialogue of life, in which Christians live and rub shoulders with people of other faiths and ideologies. People of different faiths intentionally get to know one another as human beings, as neighbors, and as fellow citizens. As people begin to see one another, not in the abstract, but with concrete faces and personalities, many of the fears and tensions that so often exist between practitioners of different faiths, or no faith at all, can be dissolved. Such a dialogue of life is the foundation for any other kind of dialogue. The second form of dialogue is the dialogue of social action, by which women and men work together for common issues of justice. While not downplaying religious commitments and religious differences, when people of different faiths set their eyes on the common goal of social, political, or ecological justice, they can work for values that are common in practically all religions. Working together for fairer immigration laws, for the abolition of the death penalty, for the sacredness of human life, and against racism and sexism are ways that committed people can learn to live with one another and be inspired by the social doctrines of the various religious and secular traditions. The third form of dialogue is the dialogue of theological exchange. This is an area for experts as they probe one another's doctrines and practices, challenging and inspiring one another's sacred documents and cherished authors. Reading books together, secular or religious, could be a very real way of doing interreligious dialogue and having a theological exchange. People could get to know one another, learn about other perspectives, as well as deepening their own faith. Finally, there is the dialogue of religious experience. All religions have a spirituality and a form of prayer, and an exchange about the meaning and practice of these can lead to a deeply mutual enrichment. By bringing people of faith together and by praying together, peace may have some kind of possibility on earth. Hans Küng often says, "No peace among nations unless there is peace among religions." Sharing the experience of the transcendence of God by sharing modes and practices of spirituality can be a significant aspect of dialogue. In conclusion, interreligious and secular dialogue is indeed prophetic dialogue. As dialogue, it demands attentive listening, conversation skills, empathy, study, and respect. As prophetic, it demands honesty, conviction, courage, and faith.